living men. Sorry, guys. There are some certain things that it is based on. Some of the things your life expectancy is based on is if you have access to healthcare, where you live, your diet, your exercise, do you smoke, do you drink, your lifestyle choices, and your educational level and your race and ethnicity. It really comes down to lifestyle choices. So, number one that I'll be talking about today is pet therapy. By trade, I was a nursing home administrator for years, and the number one thing that I loved having a program in our nursing home was pet therapy. We had tons of volunteers that would come in and bring their dogs and cats into our program, and our seniors absolutely loved it. The benefits of pet therapy were it actually reduced their anxiety, it reduced the risk of depression, it lowered their blood pressure, it increased their cognition, it increased their mobility because they actually took walks with the dogs. It just increase their emotional support system and their connection. And hey, if you're able to have a pet at home with you, then this is a great way to reduce isolation and have that constant companionship and engagement with other pet owners alike. And you may have that ability to take them to parks and engage with other pet owners and have that social connection. You may even be able to take your pet or animal to the local nursing homes yourself and have that pet therapy engagement with the people there and highlight their life and improve their quality of life. And for those of you who can't have a pet at home for one reason or another, maybe you would like to volunteer at a local pet shelter. Number two, brain training and keeping up those cognitive function skills. Make sure that you are engaging in training your brain to learn new activities and hobbies and new skills. Picking up a hobby, maybe you're going to learn a new language. You're going to go travel to Paris and you want to learn French. Or maybe you're going to learn how to crochet or start a YouTube channel or learn how to use that digital camera. Anything that you feel that you are going to improve your quality of life and increase your cognitive functioning, try it out. Have fun. Just make sure that you're constantly putting your brain skills to use.
Number three, did you know that people are a lot more compliant with their exercise programs if they actually start exercising in the morning? And the second time that they actually like to exercise and are more compliant is when they have their second surge of energy, which is later in the afternoon. For me, I like to go walking in the morning before I start work, and it actually gives me that nice energy flow that I need to actually engage in my work. I love it. Plus, every once in a while, I get to meet up with my daughter and have that social connectedness that I really like. Multiple short movements throughout the day is a great way to practice balancing and stretching. Stretch before I get out of bed, then I will grab my water on my nightstand and I will drink that 8-ounce glass of water before I even get out of bed. And then that is actually automatically part of my morning routine. Stretch, drink my water.
Number four, did you know that your body's cortisol is the lowest during the day between the hours of 1 to 3 p.m.? So that is the perfect time for you to be able to take a nap. And a power nap is generally about 20 minutes. Another idea for a mindful break would be to journal. Maybe you would like to participate in meditation or the power of prayer or spend time with your pet. Whatever you decide, the point is to take a mindful break during the day. Number five, managing that stress. Boy, that's a hard one because that stress is always going to raise your cortisol level high. It's going to give you anxiety. It's going to raise your blood pressure through the roof. So I have decided that anything that I have that's going to cause me high tension, my blood pressure is going to go up. I'm going to have that extra set of stress. Like, for instance, if I know I'm going to have a presentation to give or public speaking, or maybe I need to take a test that morning, or I need to go see the doctor, or I need to meet with my boss, or something that I just know is going to be a high ticket or high task item, I am going to schedule that first thing in the morning. I know that I'm going to get that item done and be able to cross it off my list first thing in the morning. And now I know that for the rest of the day, I can relax and get back to my normal routine, and everything else is downhill from there. Number 6, talk about stress. I used to stress eat a lot. And since I've been engaging in these top 10 things, it's really starting to help me be more mindful and engage in better practices in my life. And so I would say that mindful eating over the age of 50 has really helped me to stop and think what I'm putting into my body as I get older and what I'm eating during the day. And I would say adapting to better nutritional needs by increasing protein in my diet to help with that muscle maintenance and that fiber to meet that extra nutritional needs of my body. I used to put a lot of sugar and sugar substitute and creamer in my coffee in the morning, and now I like to put a protein shake into my coffee. I love the taste of it, and I don't put any more sugar substitutes or creamer or milk in my coffee. I do try to avoid sugars more often when I can. I don't drink alcohol hardly at all. I have cut down way on caffeine. I used to drink 3 or 4 Diet Cokes a day. Now I'm lucky if I drink a little mini can once every 2 or 3 days. When I worked at the nursing home, I learned from the dietitian that eating consistent carbohydrates during the day. It's not a bad thing to have carbohydrates, but trying to keep them consistent during the day in smaller amounts will help us digest them properly, and then to not have them later on in the evening and later on in the afternoon will help. Another thing she taught us is to have the largest meal of the day at noon. This helps our body digest, so we would always have the biggest meal at the nursing home during the day. And then at night in the evening, we would have soups and sandwiches or a salad or a fruit dish, cheese and crackers, those types of things to give our stomach time to digest. And then in essence, this would help us have a better night's sleep as well. Doing all these things encourages us to not eat mindlessly. We can ask ourselves when we think we're hungry, are we hungry enough to eat a bowl of vegetables? Do we want to have a glass of water? Um, Most of the time, when we think we're hungry, we could actually be dehydrated. So make sure that we're taking in enough water to keep our bodies hydrated as well. And that hydration is going to satiate. I know I will always have some processed foods in my diet and some fast foods in my diet, but there are still healthy choices out there. I just have to limit what I take into my body. Number 7, after we just talked about all that food and having a good night's rest, we have to make sure now that we're going to prepare our mind and body with a wellness routine every night to get us prepared for a good night's rest. And how we can do that is by setting an example for our body to be consistent with a pattern every single night. Did you know that some experts are now saying that it may be more important to come up with a consistent pattern to get ready for bed every single night and train our mind and bodies what time to go to bed and to go to bed at that same time every night than how many hours of sleep we actually get per night? A good example of this is to train our bodies, let's say, going to bed every night by 8 o'clock. By doing that, we can maybe start getting our pajamas on and start taking a shower, doing our skincare, taking our evening medications that we need to do, putting our phones down, maybe making a note in our journal before we go to bed, preparing our room for sleep that night. Did you know that our room needs to be cold at night to get a great night's sleep? Not only does our room need to be cold, Our core body temperature should actually be 1 degree cooler when we go to bed at night. Not only that, the room should be pitch black dark. We should try to get curtains that black out everything, or we should paint our room dark colors. There should be no ambient light. If we aren't able to do that, then maybe you could get an eye mask that you could wear at night. Maybe you could take a cooler shower at night to help prepare your body's core temp to decrease in temperature. Some other things that you may want to consider is removing the television from your room. Once you get into this routine and you're getting really good at going to sleep and waking up at the same time every morning, your body's adjusting to that automatically. You may want to consider trying to wake up without an alarm clock first on the weekends and see how that goes. I feel like I've been told that my body will eventually adjust to waking up at the same time every morning. That hasn't happened yet because I always thought of myself as a night owl, but I am told that if I consistently do this, my body will actually adjust more to the circadian sunlight and I will wake up when the sun rises. But we'll see if that actually does come true. Number 8, when we're talking about doing that bedtime routine, we cannot forget that the first part of aging, too, that shows up on us is our skin. The skin is the largest organ on our body, and it shows up particularly on women in their face and hands. Mine underneath my eyes. If I don't get enough sleep at night or I'm dehydrated, I will get more wrinkly. My dark circles will get darker underneath my eyes. So I have to make sure that I'm really taking care of those areas. So before I go to bed at night, I'm particularly caring for my skin. I put my cup of water next to my nightstand before I go to bed at night. I'm putting tretinoin on my face. I have my moisturizers and my serum. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm actually putting on my skincare and then I'm putting on the sunscreen during the day as well. Don't neglect your skin as part of your morning and bedtime routine. That will definitely help with slowing down the aging process. Number 9, routine annual wellness checks. You must put yourself first in this category. You must make sure that you are being proactive and following up with your health physician, making sure you're getting your blood work and your mammograms and your annual exams and your bone density test and taking your vitamins. Any way that we can encourage ourselves to keep up on all of those things and maintain a good regimen and routine of walking and stretching and keeping us limber in our joints and muscle maintenance and our prior level of functioning will help us if we were to have a fall. If we fell, it won't be catastrophic, I hope. Instead of breaking a hip, we could maybe have a bruise versus a fractured hip. And so these are things that we're trying to maintain instead of having a major life event. We're being proactive and keeping us healthy. And so all those things, please take into account by keeping our health and wellness checks up to date, listening to our physicians' advice and taking their advice serious and making sure we're putting ourselves first. And number 10, the power of social connectedness, that ability to connect with your network of friends, family, the ability for us to go out there and volunteer and just interact with others, to have a lifeline, to have a set of resources at our fingertips, to have a neighbor willing to come over and knock on your door and check up on you if they haven't seen you outside or heard from you in a couple of days. Knowing that you have a sense of purpose, a sense of connectivity, resources at your hand, a lifeline. You have family, friends. It makes all the difference in this world today. I hope that you have your list of top 10 things, and I hope that you'll share them with us in the comments below so we can participate and learn from some of your items that you have and that you're doing to help you have a better quality of life. Can't wait to hear from you. And until then, take care.